All right. Here we go, people. Here we go. Here we go. Let's get into it, shall we? All right, people. Let me close out of this. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. Sorry for a late night. Meant to start this a little earlier. Hope you all had a good day. The playoffs and the regular season to the 2025 NFL season has officially come to a close, and it has come to an end. And I knew that we needed to make a reaction and do a prediction video for the playoffs and my own personal thoughts and reactions to it. This, I will say, this isn't an actual official prediction. Um, I'm just kind of glancing, if I'm being honest. Just kind of want to look at it a little bit and look because, funny enough, it took till the very last game, and it took till the end of the season and very last week, very last game to finally know, okay, these are the players, these are the games, this is what it's going to look like, this is who's playing in this one. So, um, hope you all enjoy the stream. Hopefully, we can get this one over quickly. But, yeah, this is the playoff bracket. And the other thing that I wanted to give a reaction to also as well today was just how what we witnessed tonight and just how the game ended between the Steelers and the Ravens, because what was that? What kind of that was it was a crazy ending. That was absolutely a crazy ending. And some I mean as a Rodgers fan, having, being a Packers fan, it's like I have seen this song and dance before. After Gainwell scored that touchdown with about 6 minutes left, I just knew deep down, I was like, Rodgers isn't seeing the ball again. Like, what's going to happen is the Ravens, they're going to get the ball here, and they're just going to milk the clock for the rest of the game, and we know who's going to win. But that isn't what happened. Like, holy hell! What actually happened was Zay Flowers had a wide, and I mean blown coverage, wide open touchdown, and so then Rodgers had to use a 2 minute drive and work a little bit of Rodgers magic. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous because it's like, does the old man got it? Does he got it in him? Can he do it one more time? And he did. And then just my immediate first, because again, we've seen this, we've done this song and dance before. My immediate reaction was they need to play defense, but I was like, they left him way too much time on the play clock, way too much time just because with and what, like, worst case scenario is exactly what happened on that last drive, because they, again, with the new kickoff rules, love them or hate them, whatever, it is what it is. The situation that was in front of them was the okay, you have to get a good return, and you get your good return here, and you're able to get a stop, and you're able to what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you're able to get a stop, get a return, pin him back deep after the kickoff. But with just how kind of the new rules are and how things go, what wasn't supposed to happen literally happened with a huge return where the Ravens have virtually, I mean, and you look a handful of seasons ago with Chiefs and Mahomes and Kelsey, like, it took 13 seconds in the divisional round for them to march down the field and kick a field goal and win the whole damn thing, send the Bills home, and then move on to the AFC Championship game. But, like, the huge run back sets them up. All the Ravens needed was 2 first downs. Hey, you need 2 first downs. Get this thing going, get it in field goal range, which is exactly what they did, because Isaiah Likely had a hell of a catch. And then, yeah, that Packer fan in me is going, holy shit, I've been here before. Ravens are going to walk this one off on a field goal. But then Loop missed it. Which is crazy. There's no, oh, this was rigged. No, that was just that was a rookie kicker making a big kick, biggest kick of his life, and just missing right. And it's like, oh boy, because now where we sit, Steelers are waiting for not the Ravens. Steelers are waiting for the Texans on the other side of this, and so that's a big reaction in summary to kind of talk about my feelings on that game, because my expectations were they were high, but they were also very like, this could be Rodgers' last game. And so I was kind of like, oh, bro, hopefully it's a good one. So, but it ended in a win, so super happy about that. Super happy that the Steelers move on. They get to win, which for me, it would have been a win-win either way, whoever was playing, because like there's parts of me, I am a big fan of Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews and Derrick Henry. So, either team that it was going to be a tough game against Houston anyways. But now that the official playoff bracket and everything's here, let's get going. Let's start it. Let's kick it off, guys. So, if you guys are enjoying this stream, be sure to hit that like button. Glad you guys are here. Let's do it too, huh? Let's do it, shall we? Let me make sure everything's queued up. We good? Okay, it looks like we're ready. We're good to go. So let's do it. So again, this isn't my official, not my official 100%, signed, sealed, delivered, no take backsies. This isn't my official prediction because I want to sleep on it a little bit, and then revisit it and just sit and marinate with some of the decisions here, because if I'm gonna be honest here, the winner of this game, I have a feeling goes all the way to the Super Bowl. But again, let's not overreact here, because I just need some things to marinate a little bit before I just blitz through and go, okay, yeah, winner of this and then the winner of this. They're going to meet up in Cali for Super Bowl 60. Okay, but for the first thing that I want to say, I think let's start with the first game here. One thing that I'm kind of like, okay, this is where football, like, I love the NFL, do not get me wrong, but the one thing that I don't like is yesterday when we saw it, here, let me pull it up, okay? You know what team should be right here? The Buccaneers. And the only reason why I'm saying this is because the Buccaneers won the other day. And I feel personally, when the NFL, whether it's the NBA, NHL, NFL, college football, or whatever, when it gets to something like this where we got to solve it with math equations, and, well, the Panthers had a better divisional, blah, 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 then what's the point of playing the regular season? What's the point of all these out-of-division games? And I bet a lot of Texas Longhorn fans are feeling this way after a lot of them have already written it in that, okay, the reason why they missed the college playoff was because they lost to Ohio State week 1, which I don't think that's why it was. But, I mean, Bucs fans and what happened to the Bucs, I think there's a lot of stuff that happened after they had a phenomenal 6-2 start. And then it just started to snowball a little bit after the Bills game. And then after starting 6-2, they finished their last 8, 2-6, something along those stats. And it was just kind of a brutal end to the season. But for me personally, with what happened with the doubleheader on Saturday, honestly, it's like, what the hell is the point of propping up? This is for the division. This is the division title game. Kind of like how they're propping up tonight's game between the Ravens and the Steelers. In that same metric, they said the same thing about the 49ers and the Seahawks, and then the Panthers Bucks. And it's like, okay, we're propping up these games. Like, this is for the division title. So the Bucks win. Oh, no, but because today, mathematically with what happened between the Falcons and the Saints, which, mind you, didn't matter win or loss, guess what? Raheem Morris got fired from the Falcons and they cleaned house anyway. Because of today's ending, Carolina gets to go. And so I'm just kind of sitting here. To be honest, I think the Rams are winning this one. I do. Rams are winning it, and so I think they're going to the next round. But there's parts of me that think with how good the with how good the Bucks are, with how, you scrounge some, little bit of momentum, try to muscle the last couple weeks out and try to, all or nothing. Here we go. Let's go get a win to get into the playoffs. With that kind of, like, personally, I think the Bucks may have given Los Angeles a little bit more of a fight. But now, what's funny is these two teams played earlier in the season, about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And anybody remember how that game ended? Carolina won. But I think there's context to it as well, because if we look here, let's pull up ESPN. When they did play each other, it was, I think, where is he? The Rams. There they are. I think Stafford statistically had his worst game of the season. I could be wrong. Yeah, 2 interceptions. This was after going 7 straight weeks without throwing a pick. Like, up into the... Because if you look at the stats, if you look at Stafford's stats, he didn't give the ball up for X amount of weeks in a row. Like, played damn good. And then all of a sudden, they meet up. He has 2 interceptions. Young played phenomenal. He had 3 touchdowns. And Carolina with nothing to lose, because at this point, too, Carolina, when you look at their season, this was a flip the switch part in their season as well, because they beat the Packers, but then they just played win-loss, lose to the 49ers. This was the game that kind of turned it around to keep them within the fight, because, statistically it all came down to this game, but then it ended up not. Like, there was a moment when the Panthers, their season was over. It was absolutely over around, I think it was after this Saints loss, because they picked up a lot of momentum beating the Rams, but then after the Saints loss, like, it was just done, because they were fighting win-loss, all the way down, kind of like the Lions, but, oh well, it is what it is. So, will this kind of be the same outcome? No, I don't think with how high scoring this game was, I don't think this is the same kind of game we get when they meet up for the postseason. I could be wrong, but there's parts of me that think, what were some other metrics in that game that we missed? Was Puka injured? Was Adams injured? How much different would the game have gone if Stafford didn't have 2 interceptions? I feel like to expect the same exact result, a little bit of a stretch, and I don't think it's going to happen. So I'm going to take the Rams in that one. Out of winner of this team's beating the, look, I'm just doing this as a joke. Like, I think the Packers can beat the Bears. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter their record. In fact, because if the Bears are the 2 seed and the Packers are the 7th seed, the Packers would be here. They'd be the away team. Because they wouldn't get the... And then... So then the Rams... Wouldn't the Rams go here? Well, hold on. Because if I'm mixing it up a little bit, let me go to right here. Let's look at the NFL. Because again, you got to get it 100%. 5 seed Rams, 3 seed Eagles, or 6 seed. So if the Eagles win, the Rams would be the home team. But if the 49ers win, the Rams are the home team. But if the Eagles win, the Eagles are the home team. Okay. So then, just had to look at, because again, it looks like whichever team, but again, there's realignment just depending on who wins and where they win. Oh gosh, out of 49ers and Eagles, parts of me, I have no dog in this fight. I think, you know what? Because I still think they're the big bad bullies of the NFL. In more ways than not, I wouldn't say yesterday's performance of the 49ers and Seahawks is not affecting my prediction at all. I just think with how much the Eagles look, everybody's riding off the Eagles, and nobody thinks the Eagles are going to do crap this postseason, and then we're just going to be sitting here in 2 or 3 weeks from now. They'd be the home team. Okay. We're going to be sitting here in 2 or 3 weeks going, oh, damn, we shouldn't have overlooked the Eagles because look at this. Eagles get an easy home win against the Packers because Packers are limping into the postseason as well. So let's not overlook that. Packers are missing some key pieces we might need. And also, the other thing too is when there's a difference between coming into the postseason red hot, like the Seahawks, versus getting bailed out into the postseason or limping into the postseason with injury. This team and this team. Because, hey, I made a prediction the other day. You can go watch the stream. I made a fun prediction after the gaming stream where I said, you know what, here's who I think's going to win tomorrow. And I went down some of the teams, and one thing that I touched up on and made a prediction about is I said, watch when the Lions have nothing to lose and when the Lions are playing for pride, watch them, no pun intended, lion and pride anyways, but watch them beat the Bears tomorrow because it's a divisional game. And with divisions, it kind of doesn't matter about your rankings, what your record is, how good you've done all season. And what happened? Lions beat them today. And so now I'm kind of sitting here going, you know what, hell, throw away the Bucks, throw away the Panthers. If you put the Lions here, I think the Lions versus Rams would be an even bigger game. And I can't sit here and confidently say the Rams 100%, even though they beat the Lions last time they played, again, 2 or 3 weeks ago. That it was a pesky loss. The Lions didn't go down without a fight. And then you put the Lions here. I think the Lions could beat, the Rams, the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Eagles, or, yeah, definitely the Bears, because, hell, they beat them today. So, I don't know. There's, some YouTubers and stuff. Shout out to Fear the Beardo, if you guys know who he is. He might be a small YouTuber. You guys might know him. But one thing that he said jokingly in one of his sports streams was, and I kind of agree with it too, because and this situation can only happen with, it feels like the South teams, AFC South or the NFC South, because the West is always going to have a positive record, whether it's the Broncos, the Chiefs, I know not this year, but the Chiefs or the Chargers. But if you have, like here, let me pull it up real quick. If you have a losing schedule and a losing, look at this. Look at this chant here. Again, this year it's different because they don't, look, we got 2 teams with plus win, 2 teams with double digits, and then go to, where is it? The most stacked division in the whole fetching league, 14, 12, 12, bottom of the Division 3. Like, someone from the NFC West is winning the Super Bowl. That would be a big prediction I would make right now. Like, someone from the West is winning it. Okay. But when you look here, 8-9, 8-9, 8-9, because of the 3-way tie, Carolina goes, even though, look, it division, look, they're all 3-3. Again, I don't know. But yeah, if you have a losing 8-9 record like this, the thing that he talked about is you throw away the regular season, and then you go here to division, and then just go off the merit of the division record, which all of them are tied at 3-3, which is so so funny. But like in this instance, let's scroll. Like, for example, Denver and the Chargers, because I notice I'm not blocking it out. Denver and the Chargers are tied at 5-1. They would both go, which they ended up going anyways. But like Houston Houston and Jacksonville would be split for co-champs because they're both 5-1. Pittsburgh wins it at 4-2. New England wins it at 5-2 because there's a clear-cut winner. Clear-cut winner. There isn't a clear-cut winner here. Now, maybe it is Jacksonville because, well, let's double check here. Okay, they beat the Texans. They split 1-1. They split 1-1 with the Texans. And so my brain's like, yeah, why can't we? Yeah, they clinched the division, but it's like, hey, if you guys split the series 1-1 and you're both tied division, I would say that's enough to equate to, hey, you guys are tied for division champs. But like this would be a long argument that a lot of people would make, and personally, I would also sit with this, and I would ride and stand on this hill, because the same way I'm kind of feeling about this, where okay, the true outright division winner should go to the postseason regardless of regular season record. The reason why I think that would be actually a good thing, and again, this could be a side tangent and an argument or a video for another time, but go look at the 2022 here. In fact, I'll pull it up. You go look at the 2022 Lions before the Lions were good. So Detroit sends Green Bay home that night. You look at their division. Let me scroll up here. Look at that. They went 5-1 in the division. Okay? Tell me. So, and again, they went 9-8. Like, I think the 7th seed that year was... who was the 7th seed that year? I don't even remember. 2023 playoff. Let me look. Because I remember it was the... Was it the... It was the Seahawks. I was over here looking at the AFC side. It was the Seahawks against the 49ers. This was the Geno Smith Seahawks. Before Geno... did Geno have a stop before he went to Vegas? I can't remember. Anyways, but like, I think when you look at what could have been, like, because everybody knew, because in the regular season with how good the 49ers were that season, I mean, the 49ers beat the Seahawks ass that year. And I think the Detroit Lions could have given the 49ers a little bit more of a fight. They didn't. This was also Brock Purdy's first year. But like, if you want to go by that metric, I think that year the Lions should have gone, regardless of being 9-8. The fact that they went 5-1, they beat the Vikings. One of these losses is to the Vikings, which, if I'm not mistaken, and now it's not going to show me because it's 20. Actually, no. Let's go to 2022. Hold on. Let's go to schedule, because in 2021 they were awful. In 2022, they started to turn it around. They split 1-1. They split 1-1 with the Vikings. But look at this. Look at this. That was week 3. But then since then, after starting 1-6, they finished the season 9-8. Winning, look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of their last 10. Yep, I do remember thinking, hey, the Lions should have been in the... But again, it is what it is. Like, Purdy tears his elbow in the NFC Championship game against the Eagles. Eagles play the Chiefs. What else happened that postseason? I don't even... What else happened off the top of my head? Yes, Bills lose to the Bengals in that snow game, and then, yes, the Bengals play the Chiefs, and that's the one where Butker made the 55-yard field goal, which would have been good from 65, yes. Because a lot of people called for, the, when because there was a late hit out of bounds on Mahomes, and everybody was saying, "Oh, this is why." Oh, the Chiefs only won because of this late hit out of bounds. And it's like, no, the Bengals offense was struggling. Like, the Chiefs were going to drive down the field, and it didn't matter where they kicked it from. But, like, it right down the middle. Chiefs were, yeah. So, yeah, look at that. Dude, look at that. Look at that. Dude, we used to be proper, man. Look at this. Look at this. Now it's no more. This was also hold on. Could there be a chance? Because this was the year that the Jaguars had their crazy comeback. Could there be a chance for the Jaguars to run into the Chiefs aren't in the postseason? Anyways, on that note, I think the Rams and the Eagles are going to have a divisional round rematch, and I think the Eagles and the Rams are going to meet up and battle it out to see who gets a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Oh gosh, I haven't looked at the chat in a while, guys. Sorry, guys. Glad you all are here. Oh my gosh, here we go. Sorry, this one stood out to me. Cry Eagles cry. Purdy overrated. Nah, dude, Purdy's not overrated. Now, I will say the Seahawks defense did make him look a little suspect the other day. But let me show you a stat that's a little glaring. I talked about this in my stream the other day. Oh my gosh, we have so many tabs open. Hold on, let's open that tab up. Let me show you a stat. Let me show you one stat that is very concerning with Seahawk fans, if you're a Seahawk fan. Okay, so woo! Seahawks win, baby. Sam Darnold, 0 touchdowns thrown. Okay, you go to the Seahawks here. It's all right. He'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Okay. Against the Rams. How many touchdowns? 2 interceptions. He gave the ball away a little bit. But then before that big game, at home against the Colts. No touchdowns. At home against the Vikings. The Brosmer Vikings. No touchdowns. And then we go here to the Cardinals. At home against the Cardinals. 1-1. This is after Murray got benched for the remainder of the season. I was sitting. And we know how suspect, Cardinal fans, I know y'all can agree with me. We know how suspect the Arizona Cardinals defense was all season. Seattle should have tore them apart. But they didn't. I mean, they did. Look, I mean, come on. Like, they did. But, I mean, Darnold should have had a field day. And he didn't. So, I would be, if I'm looking just at fraudulent number 1 seeds, if these guys don't get it done, they're going to join the Tennessee Titans in that list that you do not want to be on. Because, if I'm being honest, it doesn't matter who wins this game. It should be Seattle in the NFC Championship. That should be the goal. That should be the because I mean, obviously, there's probably Seahawk fans that are like, "No, this is our year to win the Super Bowl." But it's like a bust would be if it's one and done in the divisional. At worst, y'all need to be hosting an NFC Championship game. Like if you guys host the NFC Championship game, Eagles come in there and shove a tush push down you, and then you guys lose on a fourth quarter tush push to end the game. Hurts had his 3rd rushing touchdown of the game or something. We'll all laugh. We'll all sit here and laugh, but like at worst, that's where Seattle should end their season, is the NFC Championship game. But parts of me think this is a divisional matchup. We'll see what happens. But I'm gonna roll with the Rams. All right. Chargers and Patriots. Come on now. Well, hold on. Pause. Oh my gosh, I don't like this. I don't like this one bit actually because there's parts of me because we were looking at the 23 bracket. This is Herbert's first time back in the postseason since he blew the lead to the Jet. Could we come full circle and have a full circle moment of Herbert blowing another huge playoff lead to the Patriots and Drake May? Oh, dub Bears. That's funny. All right, then that was funny. Don't count the Patriots out. We are 100% making the Super Bowl. Pats haven't played anybody all year. That's so funny. Jags going to the Super Bowl. Hell no. Jags, no. Jaguars are not making the Super Bowl, people. Sorry. Sorry to cut it to you. But, Jags aren't making the Super Bowl because I think, well, hold on. Oh my gosh. Dude, I don't know who's winning any of these games. Because parts of me think, okay, Steelers get one done for the boys and Rodgers keeps going. But then Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, after taking over for Coach Cowher, because this is what Steeler fans have hit home all these all these years of like, hey, fire him. He's only had one playoff win. Um, since the team, like, because Cowher won the Super Bowl and then the team got handed over and then he was the head coach, but he still had the same roster with his own made roster, his own coaching staff and all that. With the tenure that he has had as a Steelers head coach, the only playoff win that he has under his belt is the one against the Dolphins back in 2016. Since then, they've lost to the Patriots in the divisional round to Tom Brady, Josh Allen, gosh, who knows how many times, Baker Mayfield and the Browns in 2020, and then Kenny Pickett in the 21 season, I believe, the Pittsburgh Steelers lost to Josh Allen and the Bills, I think. Because I think that was the year the Steelers and the Bills met in the wild card, and then Bills won, they move on to the divisional round, and then that's where we have 13 seconds left. Absolute masterclass of the game between the Chiefs and the Bills, and then Tyreek Hill has a touchdown, but then Gabe Davis has a touchdown, and then 13 seconds, this thing's going to overtime, right? Nope. Steelers are getting bounced next week, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Riley Leonard today, as the third, fourth, whatever string QB he was for the Colts, Riley Leonard had 3 touchdowns today against the Texans. Were they all backups? Maybe. But one thing that this list of quarterbacks can't say the same is Herbert didn't have 3 touchdowns against the Texans. Josh Allen didn't have 3 touchdowns against the Texans. Like, the Texans defense has made Herbert, Mahomes, Burrow, they have made all these quarterbacks look suspect. The only QB, like household name QB, that has looked really good against the Texans was Baker, but that was also like week 3 or week 2 when Houston started 0-3. Yeah, no, I agree. Texans are going to get after the Steelers O-line. Well, and with freaking, okay, if I'm going to be honest, I'll say this. With how sloppy both teams play, okay, gotta make sure. Okay, we're looking good here. I'll put that down. With how sloppy both teams are looking and how both teams play offense, first to 14 wins. I like that. I know that sounds stupid to say, but I mean, with today and with how tonight particularly ended with the Steelers and the Ravens, like, dude, we had 55 minutes of football, and then all of a sudden, whoa, we got to have some touchdowns here because, yeah, where was Zay Flowers all game? Where was, where was Calvin Austin all game? Like, they showed up when it mattered most because, I mean, that was a perfect That was a perfect, like, on a line. There were three. The one to Thielen, the one to Freiermuth, and then the one to Austin, where just Rodgers put it on a rope. The three biggest throws of the game, but where, like, yeah, whoever, parts of me think that whichever team goes up by 10 first, they win. Because I don't see, with how kind of lackluster both offenses have been, yeah, if the Texans go up by 13, Steelers, yeah, I've been a Packer fan way too long. I know Rodgers. And then vice versa. You look and see some of C.J. Stroud's biggest games. If the Steelers are up by 14, and the defense is just kind of bend don't break. Steelers are just able to just move the ball down the field with free will, which it sounds stupid saying that because nobody's been able to just tear up the Texans defense, even though I said earlier that Leonard had 3 touchdowns. Like, I don't know. And there could be context to it too. There could be context to it in the ways of how many of the Texans starters were sitting today. You know what I mean? Because that's the other funny thing too is they weren't sitting their starters, but I'd be very worried because anybody remember what the score was against the Chargers going into the 4th? Now, Broncos defense, I'll give it to them. They held Trey Lance and the second strings of the Chargers to 3 points heading into the 4th quarter. But in turn, no matter how many players that the Chargers were sitting on that defensive side of the football, Bo Nix and that offense only had 13 points. I'd be a little worried if that were me. So with that being said, sorry guys, let me quit rambling. Okay, hypothetical. Here we go. Hypothetical man's getting to the second round. I ain't even gonna play with this one for I ain't even gonna mess around with this one. Not even gonna mess around with it. Well, actually, who's the higher seed out of the Chargers and the? I don't even know who the higher seed is. Chargers. The Bills are 6. They're 6 and 7. No. I'm teasing. Yeah, I'm not even messing with this. I'm not even gonna flirt with it. Give me the Bills. Give me the Bills, because if I think about it too much, it's no. You know what? Hell, for old time's sakes, come on now. Come on, give me the Steelers. Come on, baby. You gotta believe. No. But if the Steelers can 13-point shimmy their way to the divisional round and keep C.J. Stroud at bay and keep them all just, and beat the Texans 13-7, 10-3, ugly game like a Miami versus Texas A&M game. If they can keep it low scoring and ugly like that, move on to the next round. Boy, the Broncos will definitely have something ready for Rodgers in the next round. Which again, I would love to see. Yeah, have you all seen Toy Story or anything like Woody messing with Buzz? He's like, I would love to see you try, Buzz. Like, there's parts of me where I would love to see a full circle moment of the Steelers and the Packers playing in the Super Bowl. Like, what? You want to talk about absolute cinema. Watch the Packers just meander their way up the, like, what would have to happen is the Panthers would have to win this game to get up to here, and then we'd have our week 7 rematch when the Packers lost to the freaking Panthers, and then boom, they get to the Super Bowl. Steelers. Who could the Steelers go through to get there? Chargers would have to beat the Bills because the Steelers have beaten the Bills this season. Yes. Yeah? I think they did. I think the Steelers beat the Chargers. Yeah, no, they did. Okay, they lost 25-10. But like again, you get a little bit of a get back here, and then boom, what's waiting? Steelers and Chargers get a little bit of a get back. Steelers Packers. Absolute cinema. Absolute cinema. Guys, how we doing? How we doing on the show? Oh, we're doing good. Hope you guys. Do I think Harbaugh is getting canned? Sorry, I haven't looked at the chat, guys. I gotta look at the chat more. No. Don't for 1 second. Don't for 1 second think Harbaugh's getting canned. No, because I'd be surprised. Because who are they gonna go get? Who's gonna replace Harbaugh after all those years? Cignetti, Dan Lanning. Like it's so funny to see the coaches that are still in the playoff, whether it's Kiffin or Golden or Lanning or DeBoer or Cignetti. Like what's so funny is like there's little conversations about, oh, Coach Cignetti's going to go coach in the NFL next year. You shitting me? After what he's done with Indiana and turning the program around where they're 1 win away from the national championship, you think he's just going to be like, okay, I'm good. See you guys later. I win. Google me. No. Now, if he wants to coach in the NFL, it'd be a Harbaugh thing to do. Go out on top. But, I mean, and I will say this. If Cignetti does go to the NFL and he's coaching, on an NFL sideline by the fall, in this case it would be in Baltimore because Harbaugh gets canned. How funny. We'd have to have weird conversations about, is Coach Cignetti the best head? Well, again, hypothetical because it's a stupid argument, but like think about it. Would he be the greatest head coach of all time, considering that he went from JMU? He was good enough at JMU. He got a chance to coach D1, and then he flipped the program in 2 years. It took Harbaugh 7 years to win a national championship at Michigan, and people to this day still don't give him credit for it and say they cheated. But to go from JMU to a perennial loser, because Indiana wasn't doing much. They were kind of like the 23 Sun Devils, at ASU, where they won, 3 games? Like, they were not good during the Michael Penix time before he transferred to Washington. They were not good. But for him to flip that program in 2 years, only have 2 losses, the Ohio State loss, the Notre Dame loss, go undefeated, win the Big Ten, win the Rose Bowl, and then end up winning the national championship in 2 years, and then pieces out to go to the NFL, you'd have to put him somewhere on a list of all-time coaches, because that's pretty damn impressive, if you ask me. And it's kind of funny, too, because it'd be the kind of hilarity that you throw up on a list also of, like, Lane Kiffin playoff wins at Ole Miss, 0. Golden's playoff wins at Ole Miss, 2. Games coached also, 2. So, ain't that funny. All right. Go Raiders. No. Raiders. Hey, do you see the Raiders anywhere in here? I don't. No. Raiders are getting Mendoza in the draft, though. Here, let's scroll up a little bit. Home field advantage. You know what? This might sound stupid. Where's home field advantage? Sorry. Scrolling around here. Well, wherever it said home field, there it is, home field advantage. I don't think home field advantage is going to benefit anybody. Well, because we have seen, and hear me out, the Broncos beat Philly in Philly. The Bears have lost at home, like they lost at home today, and starters were in today. The Bears have lost at home. The Seahawks have lost at home. They lost at home week 1 to the 49ers. Who else have they lost at home to? Let's pull it up here. All the way down here. We'll take the long way. We're going to take the long way to get there. There it is. Okay. So, they've lost 1, 2, okay, 2 games at home. 2 games at home. Now, this one did come down to the end. This was a damn good game, which is so... Again, with how good the Buccaneers were during the regular season, it is so crazy to see that after this loss, the Bucs at one point... the Bucs were 6-2 at one point. Yes. They were 6-2, and then they blinked, and they were 7-6. Like, dog, I don't even know. I do not even know. Okay, let's continue, guys. Herbert is a bum in the playoffs. We'll see. This could definitely be a prove it year. I feel like I'm a Bengals fan. I hate football. Special teams, New England. We found our new Brady and Belichick. We're gonna be fan. No way we're beating the Bears. Oh, we can beat the Bears. We can, because here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing, and let me show you photo proof. Wait. Let me show you photo proof of how we can beat the Bears this year, because we've done it this season. Packers. Now again, this was earlier in the year, but anybody remember 28-21? This was the same week that the Bears took the 1 seed, and they were the number 1 seed, and look at what we did. Now again, this was on our field. We're going to there. We're going to Soldier Field. When you look at this game right here, who was not playing in this game? Jordan Love. Now Malik Willis did put on he had a pretty good game. Okay, he had a touchdown, 121. Okay. The whole why this game was so good right here. The 13-point lead, that the 13 points that we blew and gave up in the fourth quarter for them to tie it, and then the walk-off touchdown by Caleb Williams and the Bears. So this, I'm going to be honest, this will probably look exactly like how our game's going to go on Sunday. Is it Sunday? Whenever they play. Why aren't the Rams in my poll? Because I'm trying not to show bias. Because I think the Rams can win the Super Bowl. Well, and I only get 4 options. Sorry. Which, in fact, let's look. 50. Wow, 56 votes. Look at that. Out of 56 votes, a lot of us are leaning towards the Seahawks. We're going to learn. We're all going to learn. I'm telling you, that Super Bowl 49 49 pass. I'm telling you, that is the last successful playoff run the Seahawks will ever have. Where is my... But that's why I think... I'm just looking at other Bears stuff. That's why I think the Packers can beat the Bears. Is because it's a divisional matchup. We know them. They know us. Took some fourth quarter shenanigans for the Bears to tie. And then a hell of a play, walk-off win by Williams. I like the Packers' chances. Plus, shall we remind people, the last time the Packers were the 7th seed, what did they do? Let's go over here. It's the game, essentially it's the game that gave Jordan Love his contract. Shall I remind anybody? The last time the Packers were the 7th seed? Anybody? Bueller. So now this went absolutely nowhere because they lost to the 49ers the next year. But yeah, now and then last year. I will say this though. About Bears fans. If you want a little bit of optimism about playing the Packers, is the team that has played the Packers in the postseason for the last 2 years has ended up going to the Super Bowl. So there's an upside. So if you guys lose to if you guys lose to us, you lose to us. But if you end up beating us, you're going to the Super Bowl. So that's a confirmed myth. Because look at the last 2 seasons. I think even going back to the 21 season, the 49ers made it to the NFC Championship where they lost it to the Rams. But so you're at least getting to the NFC Championship game. So look at that positive. Bear down, Bears all the way. I think they got a team. I think they got a team that can do it. Now, did I predict that? No, I'm showing love for the Packers. Again, this isn't my official prediction, but it's the thought that counts. So back to it, guys. All right. I predict now out of this, again, I don't want to think about it too much. I don't. I do not. I want Bills would be the away team. Bills would be the away team, so they'd be up here, and then the Broncos would be right here, because it'd be like Aaron Rodgers. We love that you had a good career, you had a fun career. Your time is now, old man. What's the Huey meme from? I was about to say McDonald's in the middle. Malcolm in the middle. The future is now, old man. And then the Broncos beat up Aaron Rodgers. Actually jump his shit. Like, full-on brawl. They mug him at the 50-yard line. Like, first thing ever, unprecedented. Like, an absolute brawl where they're literally beating up a senile old man on the football field. Like, Malice in the Palace 2.0. Like, the refs have to blow the whistle. The sideline security has to come in and arrest some players. Like, absolutely, it's crazy. You think the Steelers? Hell yeah. Because here's how the Steelers beat Houston. Put up 17 points. Houston's offense. Now I could be wrong. I could put my foot in my mouth later when we circle back in a week and. Okay, guys, I was wrong. Texans ended up beating the Steelers. But CJ Stroud has been mediocre this year. He has not wowed us like he did the rookie year. Like, he's played well. But from all the other quarterbacks, Drake May's played better, Herbert's played better, Lawrence has played better. Josh Allen, not against his team in particular, but overall, Allen has played better this season. And then Rodgers, no. Like, and then Bo Nix. Like, honestly, out of quarterback play, CJ Stroud is pretty equal with Bo Nix, Rodgers, and Josh Allen. Because the best quarterback of this whole conference has been Drake May all year. But it's with a grain of salt, because it's like, but every quarterback's had their moments though, because this is also still Drake May that after going up 24-0 against the Bills didn't show up in the second half. Like, this is still, like, yeah, the best quarterback in the whole playoff. Got to give it to Jalen Hurts. I'm teasing. It's Stafford. Absolutely Stafford. Lost all credibility with the. Yeah, no. I'm teasing. Um, as long as the 49ers took out the Bears, I'm good. Now if I'll say this, yeah, winner of this game, the winner of this game is playing the Rams. That is how, like, I'm confident enough. I think the Rams beat the Seahawks. Like, I think there will come a time where a lot of these defenses have shown cracks and then they've gotten better. I think the Seahawks, they haven't cracked yet. And so it's like maybe they just played too well, because the Broncos have had their cracks. I'm like, because after winning 11 in a row, they lost. But you see what I mean? Like, the Patriots defense was playing absolutely phenomenal, but then they peaked. They blew that huge lead against the Bills. Defense showed their weakness, came back in it, and so I'm kind of saying the same thing. Mental gymnastics along the same lines with the Seattle defense, where um, it's not the Legion of Boom. It's not the Legion of Boom. It is a good defense. And arguably, I would say if the Broncos defense isn't the best defense up here compared with the Texans, it's Seattle's. See, out of all 14 teams that are here, Seattle's defense is top three. Number one is the Texans. And then it becomes, arguably, I'd say the Eagles. Eagles and Texans. Eagles and Texans could be tied for one. Tied for two or three could be Seahawks and Broncos. Because the other thing, and everybody's already forgotten it because it's been a week, 2 weeks. We remember what the Eagles did to the Bills. I mean, they're the reason why I made this thumbnail handful of streams ago. Like, freaking Eagles had Josh Allen working all freaking day. Now there was a chance there at the end. He couldn't capitalize, which it is what it is. But everybody, with as good as everybody is here, one thing that's not being talked about, Eagles defense is legit. And they will bully. They're going to bully Brock Purdy all freaking day. And I don't think with how many pieces they traded away in the offseason on the defensive side, I don't think Warner's been given the green light to come back. Bosa out, and again, they've already hit that hammer home the whole season. Like, oh, the 49ers are injured. Oh, the 49ers are injured. Yet they still find ways to win. If this is how the game turns out, it is how it turns out. But this cannot be a Juwan Jennings 2-touchdown game. This can't be a Brock Purdy 5-touchdown game where Christian McCaffrey has 2 through the air and 1 on the ground. Like, the Eagles will find ways to exploit McCaffrey, and McCaffrey will be out of the game. They'll find way, because the other productive thing from the 49ers offense is, if it's not McCaffrey, it's Kittle. But you shut down. Run game has been very suspect for the 49ers all year. But if you take McCaffrey away in the flat with the slip screens and stuff, and just out of the back of the end zone and the dink and dunks, backfield, not end zone, but out of the backfield, some of the dink and dunks, because McCaffrey has been absolutely lethal for Purdy in the passing game. You take him away and get Kittle rattled, there goes Purdy's number one and number two. Game's over. Then the Eagles defense bullies Purdy for the final rest of the game. Like, that if you want to beat the 49ers, that's how they get it done. Now, we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? I mean, because this could have the makings also of a generational hater silencer kind of game. Because this isn't any hate against Brock Purdy, because truthfully, like, I do think Brock Purdy's going to get his in this game. I do think Purdy's going to probably have 1 or 2 through the air. And what this game will actually come down to is what has struggled for the 49ers all year will also be what has struggled for the Eagles all year. And this game will come down to who can run the ball better. Because Eagles running offense hasn't been good this year. Barkley hasn't had as big of a year as he did last year. And so, if Barkley can't get the ball going and running, and that Eagles line can't move people around, and then it has to turn into a passing game where Hurts has to try to throw it to Brown over the middle 7 times or hit Smitty on the outside. Like, Eagles fans, tell me, do you want to see Hurts throw the ball 30 times in this game to try to beat the 49ers? Hell no. Because that's what Eagle fans, that's what NFL fans have been clowning on the Eagles all season, is that Jalen Hurts sucks throwing the ball. Yet the second we say, oh, he sucks throwing the ball, boom, 40-yarder right down the middle to A.J. Brown to blow the thing open. Like, that has been one of the funniest things to watch these all year, just all year, is we say the Rams are shit and then they turn it on. We say the Eagles are dog shit and then they absolutely just bully whoever they play that year. And then we have a rematch. Yeah, this would be my NFC rematch. Rematch of the divisional last year, like I said, but also week 2? This if this is how the Eagles 49ers game is, yeah, give me the 49ers. If the 49ers keep it close, Eagles don't want that. No. Where is it? You know what? Let me just pull it up here. Where is it? It was week 3. There we go. Pittsburgh versus that'd be so funny. Ball. Like if you're thinking what I'm thinking, that'd be the funniest. That'd be the funniest Super Bowl, and it'd be the worst kept secret Super Bowl ever if it was Seattle. Hold on, I've missed some of these chats. Sorry, guys. Bills don't have the defense to win it all. No, and neither do the Bears. The Bears defense stinks too, because again, we hate on, oh my gosh, Brock Purdy sucks. Well, look how many touchdowns Brock Purdy had against the Bears, and vice versa, which is why I don't think the 49ers, yeah, you pull up, I'll scroll down and look at more, but like, again, with solid, legit defenses, how many Bears gave up a lot of points, and they even lost today. 49ers giving up all those points to the Bears, but then, yeah, dude, or the Rams defense and how many points they gave up to the Lions, and then letting the Lions fight back into legit defenses on this list. Seahawks, Eagles. Don't make me laugh. No. For the first 55 minutes of the game, yes, and yes. Because what the Steelers defense did tonight was bad. Like, Rodgers was, dude, that game, too close. Too freaking close. You have Philadelphia beating Houston, so I know not to take any of your analysts seriously. Alright. That's alright. They have to get through a monster defense, and if they pull that off, they have to get through another elite defense in the Broncos. It's possible, but not likely for Steelers to inconsistent. Well, you know whose offense has also been inconsistent? The Broncos. The Broncos' inconsistency of being able to pull away from teams. The Broncos did exactly what the Chiefs did last year. And yeah, I'm nitpicking with stats that I've seen, but one score game, the Broncos have the same exact record as the Chiefs did last year. And if there is a legit team, just like how the Eagles were for the Chiefs, the Broncos are going to get exposed. I'm not saying that the Steelers are a legit team or that team to expose the Broncos. But today, no matter how many starters were sitting for the Chargers on their defense, Bo Nix and that Denver offense only had 13 points, and it was 13-3 going into the fourth. Broncos played down to their defense and played down to the Chargers, who were sitting Herbert for Lance. They played down to the Chargers at home and let the Chargers just hang around. The Broncos haven't been able to pull away and blow out any team this whole year. And I think personally, I kind of came up with this analysis as well with Ohio State, with Indiana, with Oregon. If the shit's starting to hit the fan, like, that's why if we're looking at it from a hey, shit hits the fan point of view kind of games, the teams that are going to pull out wins will be the Steelers, the Bills, the Jags, or the Chargers. Because in all the games where holy hell the shit's hitting the fan, they've been able to pull out some wins. Same with the Eagles, same with the Rams. Like, and I would say the Bears too, because, that Bears OT win against the Packers, shit was definitely hitting the fan. But, you look at games where if the Seahawks are down in it or it's close in any way, Seahawks don't win. What close game has the Seahawks won all year? They haven't. Eagles are going to lose. The Bills are going to lose. Steelers are going to lose. Who else you want to know? Chargers and Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Can Sam Darnold stay consistent and play clutch that deep into the postseason? Might I remind you guys, it was no more than a year ago where Sam Darnold was in this same position, with the Vikings winning 14 games, and the Rams defense, again, same defense against Sam Darnold. Anybody remember what happened with the Vikings and the Rams last year? Dude got absolutely embarrassed. Realistically, do you think the Ravens will fire Harbaugh? No. Just news. It's just news. Just fart in the wind. Seahawks scripted to win? No. And that's where I laugh and I giggle at the person whoever said Steelers Seahawks because it's one of the most infamously horribly called Super Bowls, Super Bowl 40, between the Steelers and Seahawks. And so that's why I'm laughing of, like, if the script writers, if there were script writers, it's going to be Bills 49ers. Like, who does, again, look at it this way. Okay? And again, everybody can look at the color theory, the color logo. What are the two most predominant colors on this? Pink and blue, which pink and blue. Okay? So, if we're going to go by that logic, Panthers are getting all the way over here. But what teams, like, there is no pink team. There is no pink team, but pink, Halloween pink in the NFL. October, which team was the best in October? The Bills. Okay, there could be the loophole. Or pink is a different hue of red. Pink is closest to red. 49ers are the home team. Boom. Well, because it's also in San Francisco. 49ers is the home team. They connect to the pink, and then the blue goes to this blue is more Charger blue, but the Chargers aren't getting to the Super Bowl. So there's your blue and your pink for the Bills, if we're going by script. I'm so tired of this shit, man. Yeah, I am too. I'm tired of there not being a clear-cut winner. Texans beating the Steelers. Yeah, no, they're not. Bengals are going to lose. The Bills are going to lose. Yeah. That's my fun. That's my fun Super Bowl logo. If we want to do the Super Bowl logo theory, which I think what's funny is with how much of a meme it's become. That's why I think it's all different colors. Because I mean, we got the yellow hue of like the Packers here. We got look, orange, red. There's your 49er orange, red. What's a white color? Steelers white, the Bills white. So I don't know. I think it's all there. And I think it's all up for grabs. And I think, if I'm going to be honest too, I think this is probably the first year in a long time where I think anybody could win it. Because, I mean, we jokingly say that for everybody, but like, there's parts of me that think, is it going to happen? No, probably not. But Rodgers goes out on top, like how Manning did. So there's that. Steelers win it. Broncos, I could see them winning. The Bills, absolutely. The Patriots, yeah, I could see the Patriots winning it. But it would have to be, convincing fashion. It couldn't be a close game. Drake May would have to play very good. Rams, I can see winning. 49ers, Eagles, and Bears, actually. Funny enough, I can see the Bears winning. Well, and also, if you want to go down this rabbit hole, we elect a new pope. Pope's a Bears fan. Hey, so only time will tell before we see the Cubbies and the White Sox and all the other Chicago teams playing well. Look at the Chicago Blackhawks. Blackhawks aren't doing too bad in the NHL world. What was the other? No, I was thinking of Bulls. The Bulls to start the NBA season. The Bulls actually started out really good, but no Michael Jordan, no good. No. So, okay, now here we go. Now, out of this prediction, again, look, if there's any year for him to win it, it's this year. And I've said this before in some of my streams and in some of my predictions. There's no Burrow, there's no Lamar, there's no Allen. There is nobody standing. Dude, that's what this whole freaking stream was about. I made a stream a little while ago if you guys want to check it out. But I rambled for an hour basically saying, okay, if, this is the year, if the Bills are going to win it, it's got to be now, because all the teams that the Bills have lost to, well, the one in particular, they're not in it. And parts of me think that I don't know. Parts of me think that there's no guarantee that the Bengals are going to miss the playoffs next year as well. Same with everybody that I just listed. And so when you have this, here we go, AFC's up for grabs. Now more than ever is the time for Allen to take advantage and win the Super Bowl. So, well, and the other thing too is everybody, and with the pressure of everybody predicting it, that's what makes me go, okay, this isn't going to happen. And then we'll have, okay, they lose it, the Broncos end up moving on, and then we have this situation where what if this is the Super Bowl matchup that we have, and then the Eagles end up going back to back. And then in funny, like, poetic, in funny poetic form, because we've made jokes about it, because the Eagles are three-peat stoppers. They're dynasty stoppers. They're dynasty killers. Like in poetic form of the Eagles going back to back and winning the Super Bowl back to back. Who stops the Eagles dynasty and who stops the Eagles three-peat from happening? The Eagles. How does that happen? They shoot themselves in the foot and they miss the playoffs next year. So that'd be funny. That'd be absolutely hilarious. Oh my gosh. I don't like this prediction. Dude, I do not like this prediction at all. Okay. I'm going to hold out a little bit. I'm going to hold out though because there's parts of me where you got to unless we see it in the postseason. I have not seen enough like how last year was. I haven't seen enough from and every single time these two teams get together, it's a great game. It's classic. I haven't seen enough from the Eagles. Like with the passing game, whatever. You can meme on it all you want. But like from Saquon, which I don't want to doubt Saquon. I don't want to doubt the Eagles. But there's parts of me that think with how many times the Rams have come up short because of the Eagles, this is where they get their get back. And then it ends up being the right. Because at one point, and I know they've lost a couple games to end the season, boom, and and the 49ers at one point too also had a shot to get there. There's parts of me that think like they just figured out they have a good defense, they have a decent enough defense, but Nakua, Adams, Stafford, Corum, Williams, they just figured out. Like the Rams, I think the Rams are getting slept on right now. I think a lot of people are overlooking them. Could they have? This would be a damn good game. I don't know who would win, but then again, I'll stick with my original pick of Bills Rams. And the funny thing too is we've predicted Bills Rams before in the Super Bowl. This was my Super Bowl pick last year. I was very wrong. In fact, let me look. Let's look. Let me look here. I think I want to. Whoa! Sorry guys, I haven't been looking over here at the chat over here. Sorry guys. Who is the NFL MVP? Me personally, I think it's Stafford. I know Stafford lost to the Falcons. What was it, last week or the week before? But I still think Stafford's decent. Sorry, I missed this chat, guys. Here, let me. Whoops. What am I trying to queue up something here real quick? Sorry. One second. Let me get this queued up here. Hold on. Where is? I'm trying to see if I can find my prediction for the playoffs last year to show. 2020, nope. 2020, damn, did I not? I didn't make one. I probably did somewhere. There's probably a prediction video somewhere out there. I know I've made this prediction before. Feast your eyes. This is a long time ago. This is an old prediction. Look at this here. This is an old prediction. Very old. Very old. So I've been predicting the Bills for a while. Which we're gonna stop doing that. We gotta stop doing that. We keep cursing the Bills. My bad. My bad, peeps. Let me look up. Where? where's my freaking dude? Are we dead ass right now? I did not make. Let me look. Did I not make a prediction video for? Okay, hold on. Here we go. Hold on. NFL postseason. Let's see if I made a. Prediction video. Nope, I don't think I did. Playoffs. NFL playoffs. Let's do NFL playoffs. Nope. Oh my gosh, I didn't make a freaking. Yes, I did. It's somewhere. It's here. Let me. Hold on, let me look at a bracket from last season. Hold on. Maybe I didn't. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me cue it up here. Let me show you guys. Whoops. I'll show you. Okay, okay, here we go. So last year's Super Bowl. No, not 2024, 2025. My bad. Okay. So, out of the Vikings and the Rams, I predicted the Vikings to get to the next round. Out of the Bucks and Washington, I predicted the Bucks. And then out of Green Bay and Philly, I took Philly. And so then I would have had the Bucks and the Lions against the Rams and the Eagles. And then I had Rams, Lions in the NFC Championship game, if I'm not mistaken. And then from there, I had Rams, Bills, because on the AFC side, out of Steelers and Ravens, I took the Ravens. Out of Bills and Broncos, I took the Bills. And then out of Chargers and Texans, I think I took the Chargers. But I think I also had the thought of, who gives a damn? They got to go play the Chiefs. And then I had, like everybody else, Chiefs and Bills in the AFC Championship. And then from there, Chiefs and Bills, I had the Bills. And then on the other side with Rams, Lions, I had the Rams. So we have come away. We have come a ways since. All right, here we go. Can we agree it's time for Harbaugh to go? But my Packers versus Bears Part 3. Give me the Packers. Give me the Packers. Sorry guys, I haven't looked at the chat in a while. Who's the NFL MVP? Stafford. Bang Bang Niner Gang. I love the underdog. Trent Williams will play and Ricky will play. CMC going to go off. Hopefully, yeah. If McCaffrey has a bad game, I think hand in hand, McCaffrey and Kittle both have to have a good game. Because if they both have a good game, then Purdy's going to have a good game. But Purdy can't be the only one carrying the game against the Eagles. And so that's why I'm a little worried that if the Eagles defense can bully McCaffrey and get him off his game, too much weight for Kittle. And I don't know. Kittle, look, I love Kittle. Kittle's a phenomenal tight end. Kittle, in my opinion, this is not factual, but like Kittle, the reason why we can't put Kittle in the same conversation as we do Kelsey and Gronk is how many games has Kittle just single-handedly taken over a game and won it. In the playoffs, he did it, like he has had his days and he's had really great games and great performances against the Cowboys. He's beaten up on the Cowboys, but like there are time and time again, which is what even started the conversations on Kelsey being one of the GOATs and stuff for the tight end position, is like in that prime era of Mahomes and all of them, like freaking, it was like there were games where like Kelsey could get the ball and just go 40 yards down the field, just catch it 7 yards deep, 8 yards deep, make a man miss or two, and then ooh, he's gone, because it's when he had to get up and go. He's gotten a little older. Since. All right, Texans Super Bowl champs. No, not happening. Not happening. If we're just going on the basis of the what's the word I'm looking for? Defense? Then yeah, we can mosey our way to the Super Bowl, but in turn, I think as much of a good defense, you have to have a good offense, and they have to complement each other. And personally, like, dude, Texans could win the Super Bowl, and I could be wrong as hell. They got to complement each other, and right now the Texans' defense is a whole hell of a lot better than their offense, and yeah, there's just So, what about the Patriots? Patriots aren't beating the Chargers. Too much pressure. A little bit of reverse psychology. I remember you from when you did the Super... Dude, that was forever ago. Packers win it all. Just kidding. I would cry if that happened, because it'd be the first since I was like 10 months old. Oh, way to make me feel old. I think I was 10 or 11. 10 or 11 or 12 when the Packers won it. I do remember that day like it was yesterday. It was awesome. I don't remember the game as much. I just remember they won. That's all I remember. And then out of these two, Bills and Rams, I think it'd be funny because I think it could go either way, because I don't think there's parts of me where, well, when you look at quarterbacks who are curtain call, like, there's parts of me that think if the Rams win the Super Bowl, Stafford's probably going to retire. Because, I don't remember who. Yes, I'm remembering it now. Burrow. There were talks during the middle of the season, or like towards the end. It was around. It was after Burrow said, "I hate football." But people were talking about him leaving Cincinnati, and some of the places that he could go is Los Angeles, Arizona, Minnesota. And it's like, bro, if you don't like playing football in Cincy, where you at least have good teammates with you, you got your boys with you from college. Just wait till you get to Arizona and realize, oh my gosh. Same with Minnesota, but Minnesota, you know what? I give JJ McCarthy some time. I think Minnesota will be exactly where the Bears are if you give McCarthy some time, because the thing too is, and nobody's talking about this because everybody wants to like, oh, whatever. But like, Caleb Williams in college dominated. Like, I got to see a game live, and every single play, it felt like every single time he dropped back, dude, he could throw this 40 yards and we could have a wide open touchdown here. Or he could scramble and make some guys miss and just blow the lid off this place because he was really good. And we have already, just because he's played with the Bears for 2 years now, the rookie season, his last year at USC, we've like just discredited all of his quarterback abilities, and we've just overlooked him and whatnot, and we meme on him, which, you know, is fun. But like with what he did with Oklahoma the last year before they dipped, like they were a win away from winning the Big 12 and getting to the Big 12 championship game, but then they lost to Oklahoma State. The dude wasn't the starter that year. Spencer Rattler was. And if it wasn't for Rattler playing like garbage in the first half against Texas, and then him having to have a phenomenal, I believe he was a freshman. He was a freshman or a sophomore. A phenomenal, like 25, 28 point comeback in the Red River. If he didn't have that phenomenal comeback to get the starting spot, like the story of Caleb Williams never would have happened. Like it would have eventually probably somewhere, but like what he did at Oklahoma, what he did his first year at USC, where they were a win against Utah away from the playoff, him winning the Heisman, like the dude was legit. But we wanted to say, oh, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy coming off the national championship. These quarterbacks compare. And it's like, okay, yeah, maybe now, but like how long did it take for Drake May to come around? You know, those comparisons. Or how long did it take for, you know, like it just, like it's so funny that Daniels has a phenomenal rookie year. May comes around and it takes him a little bit of time. But it's like we immediately, like Penix as well. Like there were debates and arguments of how Caleb Williams shouldn't have been the number one overall pick. And it's like, did anybody watch any of the tape? Did anybody realize like it's not Williams' fault that they lost 42-45? It's not his fault that their defense blew leads and why USC has a terrible record. You look, yeah, okay, it was a high-scoring shootout. Okay, they lost. Their defense gave up 45 points. But then in turn, their offense was able to produce 42 points to lose it, 42-45 in overtime. Like, he did fine at USC. That was a big, long rant. Sorry, guys. I could see breaking news with Harbaugh getting fired. Yeah, I could too. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I bet Falcons fans are very surprised about the firing that they had because their GM got fired too. I think they cleaned house. I don't remember off the top of my head. But my thing with when they look at when you look at stories like this where, because who else was on the hot seat? Like, look at what the Raiders did this season. Nobody's talking about Pete Carroll getting fired. Like, the Raiders had out of all these, Stefanski, Morris, Andy Reid, Harbaugh, Tomlin. It's like, out of all the teams, the team that had the worst season, that coach isn't on the hottest seats when we're talking about the hot seat. It's like, what? So I think I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I think Harbaugh has been too successful. Now, not tonight, because, tough night, which this reminds me, I got to write it down or something because I have a meme. And I have a joke that I want to say about the Ravens losing tonight. Well, we'll get to it. Let me write that down so I don't forget it. Do we fire Matt LaFleur if we... No, LaFleur ain't going nowhere. Nah. LaFleur ain't going nowhere. Because it. What's so funny is, as much as we complain about the NIL portal and college football, and oh my gosh, where the hell is the loyalty? Is in that same breath, the exact same things going on with the NFL. Because, we want coaches to get fired just as fast. We want players to get cut just as fast. And so I think it's funny because remind me, which I fell into this same boat as well. After Bass missed that field goal 2 years ago, I was saying, what could really help the Bills? Maybe if they changed coaching staff. No, what would help the Bills? If their defense could have gotten a stop and not put themselves in a situation where, oh shit, we got to rely on our kicker to kick a field goal and win this. Just saying. I know it's great, but again, it's a team sport. I know there's a lot of crazy stuff, crazy angles. But Harbaugh, no, I don't think Harbaugh's going to get fired. But I think what's funny, and I can't wait for the memes about it, which the memes have already probably come out, but how funny it is where what was the biggest off-season noise and story for the Ravens? Justin Tucker. And how Justin Tucker got cut from the Ravens, with how historic and phenomenal and a great kicker. Okay, off the field stuff is off the field stuff, okay? Save that for another time. But just on the field, with how good he was as a kicker and how clutch he was as a kicker. The funny full circle poetic justice moment of it is how the kicker that is going to the Hall of Fame, maybe, I don't know, but how you lose a field goal, you lose on a field goal because you had to go draft a rookie kicker, when we all know, I mean, not to address the elephant in the room, if Justin Kicker's kicking that field goal, Ravens win. Oh, don't say that, but yeah, I think they're winning. I could be wrong. But yeah, I think we're going to do this because here's the thing. With next week, when we look at the Steelers-Texans, we're going to do the same song and dance. Steelers fans, sorry, my hair's in my face. Steelers fan know this song and dance too well because they've been singing and dancing with it for the last 3 years. Hey, when are we firing Mike Tomlin? When are we going to fire Tomlin? We've been saying that for how long? And they haven't. So I think we'll, so I don't think he's gonna get fired though. All right, so here we go. Let me see here. What else we got? Yeah, Matt LaFleur is not gonna get fired. I can see bringing his Seahawks are going all the way. No. All right. I've watched a lot of good movies this year, but I have not watched that one. Let me see. Let's see. We're still sitting at, oh my gosh, we're sitting at 95 votes, guys. We're sitting at 95 stinking votes. Who the hell is Jeff? Who's Jeff Hafley? I don't know who Jeff Hafley is. Let me go look. Hold on. I'll go look up Jeff Hafley. Oh no. No, he wouldn't get promoted. I'm looking, no. The what's the word? What am I trying to say here? The NFL is not like college in the way of oh, your head coach gets fired. Like, he could be an interim. He could be an interim head coach. But I don't think that I don't think they would go from Matt LaFleur to one of their guys on staff. It would go to someone who's out of the building, bigger, higher, someone totally different. Let's go right here. Okay, we got that. Let me check one more thing. Dang, we doing good. We eating good. We eating good. Okay, let me check the chat over here. Okay, we're good on the chat over here. Can I become a mod to get this guy out? Nah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm good with it. Don't worry about it. I actually find it funny, to be honest. To be honest. Alright, guys. What about... We are almost at... Oh, here we go. We hit 67, guys. We hit 67. Here it comes. Has it cooked yet? There we go. There we go. CMC will probably win Comeback Player of the Year. He probably will. We'll have to see, though. I have no clue who's going to win Comeback Player of the Year. All right, people. That's all. That's it from me. That's it from me. This is my initial prediction, Super Bowl preview and prediction. We got in the stream. It's getting a little late. But for people on the shorts end, we're gonna do a hard out. But I thank you guys for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the likes. You guys did awesome. Thanks for chatting it up a little bit, interacting a lot. Shout out to you guys. I see you all here in the chat. Thanks for all the votes too. Sounds like the chat has the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl. We will see. We will see. But it won't let me. I don't know why it won't let me scroll up any farther. Because like that's as far as it will go up. But oh, here we go. Hold on. We got more. We got more. 7 coaches could be fired tomorrow. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I would say it's a toss-up in the playoffs. Who wants it the most? I agree. Now, this is like earlier in the stream, of these 14 teams, of the 14, because no. Okay, of the 14 teams, you could argue 10. 10 could probably win it all. But that's just me. I agree. If the Bills don't win it this year, they're never going to win it, which is why this is the year to win it. Okay. Let's go through all the coaching. 49ers are good. Bears are good. Bengals. Yep. Bengals could fire their head coach. Bills are fine. Broncos are fine. Browns could fire their head coach. I don't think they'd get rid of Stefanski. They could. I don't see it. I really don't. The Bucks getting rid of Bowles. People are talking about it, and it's gotten very loud because of how this season went, where they were doing very good. And let me throw it back to beginning of October, middle of October. You know who was the MVP leader and in the MVP race during that time? Baker Mayfield. Yeah, so that's pretty sad. That was fun, but Yeah. Who else? Sorry, there's a little bit of a glare, but okay, here we go. Cardinals. I think they could fire their coach with how this season went. Chargers, no. You bring Harbaugh from Michigan, they're not going to get rid. Andy Reid, no. I would be very surprised if the Chiefs fire. I'd be as surprised of the Chiefs. Well, Chiefs with Reid or Harbaugh with the Ravens. Who would be more likely to get fired? Probably Harbaugh, but I'd be just as surprised. Colts are not firing their head coach. Cowboys, no. Dolphins, no. Eagles, actually, Dolphins, yes, yes, because I made a fun prediction about this earlier. I made a prediction about how McDaniels, who would McDaniels go join? Was it Josh Allen or Mahomes? I made a joke. A joke earlier in the season after Tyreek got injured, and when I started streaming again, I made a joke about because it was when the Dolphins firing him was very loud and everybody was talking about it, and I said, watch him get fired from Miami and then go play. It was the Eagles. It was the Eagles because I said, watch him get fired from Miami, and then watch him go play second fiddle, and he gets to go he's not the dude as the head coach, but he gets to go help, kind of like how Saleh went from the Jets to the 49ers. But watch him go to the Eagles and then help the Eagles figure it out. And then the Eagles just get that much better. They have a head coach mindset as an offensive coordinator. But Eagles they're not going to get rid of their head coach. Falcons are in the position to go look for a new head coach, so that could happen. Giants already got rid of their head coach earlier in the year. Jags are not getting rid of Cohen. The Jets, we'll see. I don't think they would get rid of Glenn after 1 year, but again, stranger things have happened. Oh, name drop. Dan Campbell for the Lions, not happening. He's too valuable right now. And everything that the Lions have built up to get here, gone. The second Dan Campbell gets fired, if he is fired from the Lions are going back to being a 3-win team, 4-win team. I'm telling you, because St. Brown's going to want out of there. Hutch is going to want out of there. No one. You don't just. The old adage of the team is as good as the head coach, and what I mean by that is it just, I don't know. There's parts of me that a lot of the key players and stuff for the Lions I feel like would want their way out if he's not there, because he was a big reason why a lot of people were there in the first place. You know what I mean? Why? Yeah. You look at other teams that have won the Super Bowl, like the Rams or the Chiefs, or notice how the great players that were with the Chiefs when they won the Super Bowl, some players did leave, yeah, but players actively came to the Chiefs because they wanted to win. And you can't say the same thing. Okay, Carroll goes from Seattle to the Raiders. Off the top of my head, the only player that I know that went with Carroll from the Seahawks to the Raiders was Geno. It's not like everybody else was like, hey, here we go, let's go jump to it. I don't know. Kind of lost my point there. But anyways, Lions, no. Packers, no. Panthers, nope. Raiders, maybe. Again, I think it's funny, out of the hot seat that everybody has put all the the coaches on in the NFL. The fact that the coach with the worst record on here isn't on the hot seat, but a coach that was a missed field goal right here with the Ravens. The fact that he's on the hot seat, it's funny. It's just funny to me. McVay, no. Harbaugh, people are talking about it. Washington, no. Saints, no. Seahawks, no. The Steelers, no. Texans, no. Titans, maybe. And then the Vikings, no. So, we could see it, but it'd be, I don't know, because there's parts of me that think it would be the teams that would get fired. It would be from a team. I'm going to use Taylor, for example, for the Bengals, because the expectations were to get to the playoffs and go win a Super Bowl, and they didn't. And because they didn't, that's why they would get rid of him. Versus the Saints, who have, because a quarterback, Kellen Moore, I think. Boise State Broncos won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. It's like, where the expectations of him after he left the Eagles were like, yay, we actually have a coach. Let's go. Here we go. Who cares if we only win 4 or 5 games this season? Like, that's the difference. Like the Bucks, a lot of people were talking during the preseason that the Bucks were going to win the South. And so, yeah, the expectations of winning the South, you have Baker, you got Evans, Bucky Irving, you got some dudes around him. You can make a run. The defense, they're no joke. They're good. They can, they didn't. And so, because of that, like, that's where I could see the reason why they lose a coach, because so, I know, talking in circles now, so we'll see. We'll see on the coach's end who gets fired this coming week, which, another stream that we got to do, if I'm being honest, we got to talk about the transfer portal. We got to talk about the transfer portal, but we'll probably do that in another stream. These playoffs play a big role for coaching and their jobs. It's going to be a lot of changes next season. The NFL means not for long. You're fired 2027. If Hill never leaves Chiefs, he's likely a 4-time. Oh yeah. No, I bet Tyreek Hill. I mean, Miami did offer him a bag. So, I mean, there's that. But yeah, no, if Tyreek Hill didn't leave, and here's what's funny, is if Tyreek Hill did not leave the Chiefs and to go to Miami, he would be up there with Randy Moss and Jerry Rice in conversations of greatest receiver of all time. Because he has the rings to back it up. I mean, go down that fun wormhole for a little bit. Buffalo. F the Sea Pigeons. If the Ravens, the Seahawks should be promoted to head coach. Ooh. Mike McDaniel. Well, there's the other fun thing too, is maybe Mike McDaniels goes from one head coaching gig to another. That could happen. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. LOL. I'm a Giants fan. Why Giants? No. Who do the Giants hire? Who do the Giants hire? I don't know. Because that's the funny thing, is I don't, who's out there? Who's out there right now? I have no clue. Who's my favorite team? Packers. NFL had to nerf the Chiefs. Didn't want to ruin Brady's legacy, so they scripted the cheat off to Casey. Well, that, and also Miami offered him a bag. Miami offered him a bag of cash and the key to the city. Here, let me show you the. Let me show you the Tyreek Hill Dolphins contract. You try to say 90, 30, 106. This is also Florida too. No income tax. You try to say no to $106 million. Go ahead. Go ahead. I think everybody's taking that deal. Well, because here's the funny thing. Let me. I see you, and I'll raise you one. I've made this prediction in a stream. I don't remember which one. I think Justin Jefferson gives the Vikings an ultimatum this offseason. And by the same logic, I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Jefferson is playing for Kansas City next year. You got Kelce retiring. Whoever the wide receiver core for the Chiefs is, it's not going to be the same next year. You send the house. You pay Jefferson whatever you want. Write a blank check. Get him out of Minnesota. Give Mahomes a true number one to try to replace the last handful of seasons. But the productivity of what Kelce was in the Super Bowl 58 run, the Super Bowl 57 run. Yeah. I think Jefferson could replace that productivity. You give Mahomes a true number one, but there's a lot of other stuff. I mean, the other thing too that gets ignored is a lot of players left the Chiefs as well on their defense because they, other teams wanted them, and so they're missing some guys on the defense, just like the Eagles. Eagles win the Super Bowl. A lot of their key pieces left for other teams too. So you retool the defense. I'm just saying. Put the bracket back up. All right. Only because you asked so nicely. Gosh. Man, Ravens sold today. Could have finally got another chip. Now Josh Allen will probably get it. We'll see. We'll see, Master Yoda. We'll see. We will have to see. All right, guys. Y'all are gonna hate me. Y'all are gonna hate me. I'm gonna have to end the stream here, dude. It is stinking late. I gotta get up in like 5 hours. I gotta get up in freaking 5 hours for work. Son of a bitch. So, people on the shorts end, we're gonna do a hard out. We're gonna do a hard out here, but I hope you guys enjoy the stream. Shout out to you guys for keeping the chat popping and going. Let's see how many 102 votes. So thank you guys. We're going to do a hard out here, but if you guys enjoyed the stream, please hit that subscribe button. But tune back in. We'll be doing more streams. Keep a lookout for my Super Bowl prediction. I'll see you guys in another stream. Sweet. Oh my gosh. We gained 9 subscribers, guys. Woo woo. Woo. There we go. I know it was a hard out. Damn. That was fun. That was a good stream. That was a really good stream. I see you guys over here too. Don't worry. Don't worry. I see you guys. That's why we always have. That's why this stream's always a little bit longer than the other one. We say closing remarks over here and stuff, but yeah, that's my. You know what? In fact, I'll give you guys a little bit of Let's see if I can do this. Hold on. I'll give you guys some behind the scenes. Look at this. I wanted to do this as the. I wanted that to be the playoff bracket. Nope. There we go. I wanted this to be my thumbnail. So, y'all get a little bit of a fun little behind the scenes. Oh, whoops, I messed with it. Which in fact, here, let me show you. Like here's a thumbnail. Here's a thumbnail I didn't. Whoops. Here's a thumbnail I didn't get to use. Actually, here we can go back to this. Here's a thumbnail I didn't get to use because I was too lazy. Oh, you can't. Dante Moore. It was Dante Moore. What's another? I was too lazy to finish the I still am. Oh, you can't even see it. Still thinking green for the national championship. I know you can't see it, but Oregon, Miami, with regards to that. But yeah, those were some thumbnails I was going to use that I didn't get to. So fun little treat for you guys, because you guys are here hanging out with me. But there we go. Double checking some things. Okay. All right, but like I said, guys, we are gonna end the stream there. I thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. This isn't a final prediction, but like if I'm gonna be honest, because I'm gonna sit on it for a little bit. Yeah, Bills, Rams, and if anything changes, what I'm more torn about is, do we flip it between Bills, Rams to Bills, Eagles? Because there's parts of me too, like you can go look at the video, like in my preseason prediction to the season, and some of like when I broke down game by game and made predictions, like there were parts of me that, like I think I said it both in the Eagles video and in the Bills video where, hey, this week 17, this week 16 matchup, like this could be a Super Bowl preview. But yeah, we'll see. What would be? But again, we could also have a fun. We'd have a fun Rodgers Super Bowl here. Steelers and Packers to end it. But all right, guys, we'll end the stream there. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for all the likes. Thanks for the subs. This was a good stream. So thank you all so much. Again, gotta end the stream tonight. I was thinking if this wasn't, like, if I didn't have work tomorrow, we totally would have gamed into the night and stuff. But yeah, I gotta get up in like 5 hours. So stay tuned. Okay. We'll do more. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, we ended. I think we gained 10 subscribers this stream. So shout out to you guys. You guys did absolutely phenomenal. So again, thank you for that. I got nothing else. This is my playoff prediction, sorta, but for the most part, it is. So yeah, I'll see you guys in another stream. So thank you guys. Peace out. I messed up. Look at this. No, that was not a smooth ending. Let me show you. Where, boom, and there we go. That's the smooth ending. All right, guys. See you guys later.